Joyful unemployment. A stoic choice to step away. Have you ever wondered what might happen if, instead of pushing forward, you simply paused? What if that pause wasn't weakness, but your soul's quiet rebellion against burnout? Across Japan, a growing number of young people are making that brave countercultural choice to stop, not to fall behind, but to truly find themselves again. Welcome to Live Stoic, Live Strong, Insang, where we trade illusions for truth. Insang, where emotions are felt, but not obeyed. Insang, where clarity is power and discipline is freedom. This is not just a channel. It's a mindset. It's a journey of conscious living. Let's begin. Aurora, the girl who chose silence over applause. There was a time when Aurora's name moved through corporate boardrooms like a storm. Strong, sharp, impossible to ignore. At just 29, she had climbed faster than anyone expected. The youngest director in a global firm, known for her speed, precision, and relentless work ethic. She was always the last to leave the office, always the first to reply. Even at 2 a.m., her calendar had no gaps, her inbox had no mercy, and her smile? It was part of the uniform. From the outside, she looked like everything the world celebrates. But inside, she was unraveling. One freezing winter night, right after delivering a pitch that earned thunderous applause, Aurora slipped into the restroom and locked the door. She stood in front of the mirror, staring at her own face, suddenly unfamiliar. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from a hollowness she could no longer ignore. The clapping still echoed behind her, but inside, there was silence. She walked home alone, no victory calls, no champagne, just silence. And as she lay in bed, eyes wide open in the dark, she whispered to herself, "Is this success, or is this self-destruction dressed as achievement?" Days turned into weeks. Quietly, she deactivated LinkedIn. She stopped posting updates, stopped counting likes. The world didn't notice, but Aurora did. She left her job, not in frustration, but with surprising calm. She packed her bags and went back to her hometown, nestled by the mountains, where the wind spoke in stillness and the trees didn't care about promotion targets. There, she remembered how to breathe. She wrote stories again, the kind she used to write before success got in the way. She baked with her grandmother, without checking the clock. She woke early, not for meetings, but to watch the sun stretch over quiet hills. She wasn't chasing a comeback. She was finally coming back to herself. And months later, Aurora began a quiet little journal called The Still Hours. No flashy logos, no followers in mind. Just honest thoughts, reminding people that slowing down isn't quitting, it's healing. When people ask now, "What do you do?" she smiles, not the rehearsed kind, a real one, and says, "I breathe, I create, I live slowly." Because Aurora has learned something most of us forget. The world may reward noise, but the soul? The soul only heals in silence. From the bottom of my heart, I want to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you, no matter where you are in the world, for taking the time to watch this video. Your presence and support are the driving force that keeps me creating and sharing. No words can truly capture the depth of my appreciation. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing. And thank you for walking this journey with me, the pause that heals. At daybreak in Kujira Bay, the world wakes slowly. Gentle waves kiss the shore. Seagulls call in the distance. And Mika Sato, once a fast-moving manager in Tokyo, now begins her day with something far more human than deadlines: breath. She stands barefoot on the sand, practicing yoga as sunlight paints golden trails across the water. A book rests beside her, untouched for now. In the background, fishermen steer their boats home, nets full and faces calm. Just a few months ago, Mika's life was the opposite: hustle, noise, pressure. Her job offered a steady paycheck, but her health was unraveling. Anxiety followed her into meetings. Gastritis became routine. Fatigue lived in her bones. One morning, she made a decision, not rash, but deliberate. She stepped away, not out of failure, but out of self-respect. She returned to her hometown and entered a different rhythm, pulling weeds in her parents' garden, savoring the familiar warmth of homemade meals, rediscovering the gentle person she used to be before she became a title on a business card. She didn't quit life, she remembered how to live. Stepping off the treadmill, Kenji Mori made a similar choice. Just 24 years old, but already weary of a life that felt more like a performance than a path. He bounced between jobs, each promising growth, but delivering exhaustion instead. Coworkers competed for attention. Managers barely knew his name. Rewards felt shallow. Days blurred together. He used to panic at the idea of being labeled unemployed. Now he sees that label differently. It's not an absence, it's a reset. With careful savings and a clear mind, he crafted a personal sabbatical. Early morning bike rides through quiet streets, hours studying English and artificial intelligence, long walks that taught him more than any office ever did. His days no longer rush past in a fog. They breathe, not escape, but reorientation. This quiet movement, often called fun employment, is not a joke, not a luxury. It's a conscious refusal to sacrifice well-being at the altar of endless productivity. It's not drifting, it's reorienting. It's asking, what do I need to be well, and daring to wait for the answer. Online, digital communities are growing. Hashtags like #JoyfulUnemployment unite people who have hit pause not because they're lost, but because they're finding their way, slowly, wisely, together. In a world full of speed, they are learning that it's better to rest early than to recover too late. That rest is not an interruption, it's part of the journey. So perhaps the real question isn't why they stopped, but rather, what kind of life becomes possible when we do? After stepping off the treadmill, many begin to discover a quieter rhythm, one that holds the promise of healing. But rest, as we are about to see, is not simply about stopping. It's about how we stop. One mom. The Stoic discipline of the break. Dr. Akira Hayashi from Kyoto National University puts it plainly. Joyful unemployment, that sacred pause so many are seeking, only nurtures the soul when practiced with intention and discipline. This is not failure, he explains calmly, unless the pause becomes a purposeless escape. He likens it to a sabbatical, not a surrender. Like the moment a blade is withdrawn from battle, not to be discarded, but to be sharpened. True rest, in his view, isn't passive. It's a tool. When used wisely, it reawakens purpose, renews clarity, and recalibrates direction. But if we linger too long in stillness with no aim, the silence turns from soothing to suffocating. What begins as healing can quickly slip into stagnation. Without a guiding structure, a plan, some savings, a sense of return, what starts as a break might quietly erode into anxiety and regret, cautionary tales and quiet resolve. Not all who pause do so wisely. Aya Nakamura walked away from her job in a moment of fury. No plan, no backup, no vision. At first, her social media sparkled with snapshots of distant cities and spontaneous adventures. But beneath those photos was a storm of uncertainty. Joy without grounding fades fast. Within weeks, her curated confidence gave way to late nights of doubt and dread. Now, contrast that with Mika Sato, the same woman who once stood quietly by the sea. Her pause wasn't passive. After healing, she channeled her energy into something new. She launched a small media channel, accepted freelance projects, and slowly rebuilt a routine that balanced reflection with contribution. As Mika puts it, unemployment is only joyful when you hold on to discipline. Otherwise, it unravels. The Stoics, those ancient masters of inner peace, did not fear rest. But they were wary of self-deception. They knew the true danger lies not in stopping work, but in doing nothing with the gift of stillness. A solace. To choose a pause is a powerful thing, but that pause must be protected. Guarded. Used as a space to stretch, to sharpen, to gently realign with the life you wish to build. Because deliberate rest is not retreat. It is preparation. You are not weak for resting. You are wise for realigning. In a world obsessed with speed, stillness is power. So pause, but do it with purpose. Step back, not to quit, but to sharpen. And when you rise again, rise clear, calm, and unshakable. Thank you for your time. If one idea touched you today, come back next time. It may reach deeper. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a quiet moment. See you in the next video.